Hey guys, we got a comment from Rick, and it was very touching, very nice comment, and it had some good stuff to talk about. So that's what this video is about. And you see a game up there that I'll talk about in a second. So the first thing he mentioned was back in 2006, he was remembering the KGS community. Now, this is something very special about KGS, or used to be very special about KGS. Other Go servers, you go and you play Go. I mean, perhaps a little hi, and that's it. KGS people are friends, friendly, talking, conversation about Go, about whatever, friendships. And that was really nice. Now, you've heard some of my stories about when I was in the hospital, but my KGS friends really stepped up and gave me tremendous support. Getting calls from France, Israel, people flying in. It was real support, absolutely amazing. So I agree with him very much so. Then I left about, let's just say 10 years ago. I left KGS, sort of. I needed to start a business. And I've come back just this last, I don't know, let's say 2 years. I can't recall how long it's been. And everything's different. First of all, no one's heard of me anymore. I used to be a celebrity, signing autographs and walking the room. Oh, Shygost is here. Shygost is here. I mean, it was really fun. And now no one's heard of me, and I'm kind of building back up a little bit. But the sense of community I haven't seen it yet. I have seen it starting to build because that's what I do. I reach out to people I've never met, but they have an interesting name. I look at their info, and if the info is not only interesting, but something that strikes me personally, I'll start up a conversation. I've met dozens of people since I've been back and starting to develop some friendships and stuff. Okay, so that's the KGS community. He talked about the lectures I used to do. Yeah, 7 years where the public sent in money to support the lectures, and that lasted 7 years. It was pretty cool. And with the lectures, I would also add trivia contests and fun little things tacked on that I thought were just great and fun and everything. He mentions it was the best time in his Go career. That's very nice. He says, now you're on YouTube. Yep. He thanks me from the bottom of his heart. That's very touching. He's interested in more stories as my time as an amateur on the internet. I've always played 1.5 stones to 2 stones weaker on the internet. I mean, I spent decades. The stone is in my hand. I can see my opponent's face. I'm sorry, but I know what he's thinking. You can see that he's impatient, or you can see that he's very calm, ready to strike. That's a lot of my game. And on the internet, someone goes click, and that's it. And I can't see the board. It's because it's like half size or third size or quarter size. That's not how I play Go. So I've never done great on the internet, but I used to play a lot in coffee shops, Go clubs, things like this. And he asked, did I ever play against the strong Koreans? And yeah, 4 and 5 Dan. They come along, and of course, when they say, yeah, I'm 4 Dan, okay, that means you're 6 or 7 Dan here, buddy. Really strong. We sit down for a game, and I always consistently did very well, winning, let's say, half my games. Actually, I think it was higher than half, but yeah, and wow, they're so strong. They really know what they're doing, and you have to pay attention every single move. Let me tell you, I mean, seriously. Okay. He's talking about, before the internet. It's like, Yeah, I mean, how do you record a game? You know, bring out the graph paper, draw the 19 by 19, and then for Blackstones, you say 1 and a circle around it. That's the Blackstone. 2, draw the 2, no circle. That's a Whitestone. And it's not as easy as what we have now, but it did make you more involved with the replay. How much how did you achieve, I'm reading his email, such a strong amateur ranking? When I read that earlier today for the first time, a lot of you know I've talked about the old man I played. Um, I'm just going to repeat some of the story. We're at the Go Club, and here's this message comes through multiple people. Finally, from this person that finally ends up in the Go Club. Oh, so and so says my father is moving to the area and wondering if anyone's willing to play Go with him. He's too old to come to the club. So I'm like, you bet, that sounds fun. Who is this guy? How strong is he? You know, so I start meeting with him, and he used to be one of the top 10 in Taiwan, but now he's 89. And we played once a week for 3 years. Wonderful time. In the entire time, not once did we ever play a Joseki. He didn't believe in him. He'd go make his own Joseki. And he didn't speak English other than his age, which he would announce proudly, 89. But his daughter, she's how we would communicate. She says, I hope you know, my father has a question. How did you get so strong? That made me so proud when she said that. I was about a stone and a half stronger than him. Okay. What were you studying? Well, back then we had nobody to learn from. There were a very few six dons around, no pros whatsoever, no internet. I remember the first time Kuruo Iwamoto came by. He was a really amazing historical player. Done some great things to advance Go globally. Just really, I could spend an hour on that alone. And he would tour now and then, but there's a lot to cover, so it wouldn't come around too much. And he was the first pro I ever played, but that was a rare occurrence. I've told you I would love to spend another hour telling you that story, but we'll keep going. Oh, so that process of me just playing, trying to get better, reading books. We had books. That's what we had. I finally got up to 4 done, but I was very, very weak. I knew it. Yeah, I could fight well enough to win at least half my games. I was winning more than half because me and my friend we were 5Q together, 1 don together, 4 don together. We were always the strongest players around, so we're always winning more than our fair share of games. But I knew I had no idea what was going on. And that's when Hu Shi came in. His American name was Paul Hu. Professional level, but he didn't have his certificate. That's another hour story right there. And he came through, and he could play anyone in the room, whatever room he's in, as 10 don. Because no one's ever played at that level. They don't know how to hold someone of that caliber in check. So he was just destroying anyone he wanted to play. And he says he was willing to teach. So he was our first teacher. There was 4 of us. And we started learning. A little while later, we got more students, but we were the strong ones and wanted to learn. And I had to completely break my game down. And instead of doing what I wanted, I said, okay, well, how was that? And he would show basic things that we didn't know about. No one had ever showed us before. So that after I broke my game down and built it back up, that's how I got to 5 done. And then 6 Dan was clearly later. Study plan routine. You get hungry. Oh, I want to, what about this? What about that? Let me read that book. I'm so interested. So it was a big part of my life. It wasn't a plan. It was just a hunger. Yeah, no plan ever. Just a hunger. Did you ever get the chance to play Korean players? We got through that one. Just read First Cue the book. Yeah, he was saying used to be 5 Dan was the strongest amateur level. And that was a pretty solid 5 Dan. And back then that meant a lot, very strong. And finally, there was enough Go players and they got strong enough, they had to make a 6 Dan level. And I actually played the second ever. The first and second were brothers, and I played the second brother. Yeah. And nowadays, 7 Dan is downright casual. Oh, I'm a 7 Dan. Oh, get out of my face. How KGS started? No idea. Someone found me and brought me and said, hey, you should come play on KGS. So I did, but that was a year or two after it started. I don't know how it started. What it was like, and if you remember any exciting games from the time, that would be awesome. There are some, and that's where we get the game that you're looking at. I'm continuing to read his email. I unfortunately just missed the legend that was Tartrate. Yeah, man, that was a name spoken loudly. And have you seen Tartrate? Oh, he beat someone else. Oh, he beat that 9 Dan. Oh, he beat that professional. He was beating. I think he lost one game, as I recall, in all his time on KGS. And this is the Tartrate game. Tartrate's videos reviewing some of the classics. I have a number of his games. I'll show this one. They're so advanced, it's hard to speak clearly about them. First of all, my lack of ability. And second, who's going to understand all these nuances, all these subtleties, it's like, it's really hard and takes time. And it's like, it's a lot of work when I'm not even qualified. So I'm very hesitant in reviewing strong player games. Now, some games that I have showed you, they're exciting, they're easy to follow. It's like, oh, I can understand that thinking. I want to do that thinking. Okay, those I like reviewing. Exciting games from the past. I unfortunately missed Tartrate reviews. If it weren't for you and other people making KGS great back then, I don't think I would have stuck with the game. And now he's 2 or 3 done. If we could somehow get that community back, that would be fun. And he's thanking me for the YouTube content. That's very nice of him. Okay, so I'm going to close that window. And let's just look at a Tartrate game. I believe we eventually found out that Tartrate was 2 Dan professional. But it's more like he was 7 Dan and hadn't bothered going through the process. But I really don't know. And here he's playing Redrose. At the time she was quite young, 1 Dan professional from Russia, and this was their first game. Yep, that was me. Okay, let's take a look. And I saved it because it's particularly interesting, and you'll see. Okay, Tartrate's black. Uh-oh. 10-10? Really? Oh, it's gonna be a fighting game. So I perk up. Oh man, what an opportunity to learn how strong players fight. Oh, I just went through this many times. Okay, makes sense. Nice move. Pressing white. White presses. What are we gonna do? Split the board? Oh, let's just split the board. Oh, we're just splitting the board. No. Boom. Cut that sucker. Okay. Everyone has 2 weak groups. White defends in a manner that gains liberties versus gaining one liberty, and now he has a bad shape. She has a bad shape. And she's still around, she still teaches. She still uses Redrose. I can't remember the name. I can see it in my head, but how do you pronounce that Russian name? I don't know. Black wants to break the ladder and gain liberties. Makes sense. You can see the original comments are still there. I usually go through and get rid of all the comments and everything. I didn't think of it this time. White comes out. Okay. Here's where you need to start thinking. Black has three groups. Which one needs the most help? And balance that with which white can we hurt the most? So the way I would do it, I don't know how he did it or she, but when I see this move, ouch, that hurts. Let's try white attacking another group. Oh, that didn't hurt at all. I'm out. What about the cut? We're fine. It's weak, but we give up the stone or whatever. So he defends that way. Okay. Now you got, this is me, how I would look at the review of the game, how I have reviewed the game. Here's another way to go. So why did he go this way? You have to make room for mood, intuition, but also with this move, he's getting close to the edge on top, more so than if he would have moved right. So this is a safer move, a bigger move because you're building based on the edge. And it gives us the nice move that white had against us. So this move makes sense to me. It's like, okay, I could find that move. Yeah. Now I'd be sitting there with such lack of confidence. Oh, do I play A, B? Well, maybe C is the right move. And I'd be worried about what I'm supposed to do rather than think, well, what do you think is going on? Well, white B would really hurt me. Then I imagine the professional walking in the room going, it's not going to hurt you. Don't be silly. B's nothing. Go play C. That's the big move. Okay, maybe he would do that. I don't know. But to me, I don't like white B. So I'm going to come out. So it's that way of breaking through what's supposed to happen and take personal responsibility for the moves. White comes up. Black starts here. I would expect A, right? Get to the edge. But A doesn't attack anybody. One purpose move. While this builds an amazing bottom and left, I mean, we're drawing a big line down there, and it totally hurts those white stones. So a one purpose move versus a two purpose move. Okay, I'm starting to get the idea here. Come out, defend the group while chasing white. Two purpose move along with, look what we're building on top. So three purpose move, I don't know. Make white a little bit heavy and drop down. Okay. White A is looking like a stick. White does not like that. I can tell you right now, white does not like that. Black's entire B group is looking pretty solid with some good looking points. White C group, well, it doesn't have a problem, but if black just starts chasing, it does feel awkward. So I think white's not entirely happy there. And then, of course, black's building the whole of area one, which is far away. But wouldn't you like to have a 3-stone wall facing the center? We're not saying it's cash, but it's by all means very useful. Okay. Comes out. Don't try to kill anything. Just come out. Fix your stuff. Great. Well, maybe I should keep pressing. Well, first, white's starting to get pretty thick, getting harder and harder to attack every move. So much so that one little cut, we're going to have a bunch. That's how many weak groups is that? Let's count them. One's weak, two's weak, 2 and 3 are separate groups, 4 separate. That's 4 weak groups. He says, I don't think so. Now he has one strong group and a stone that he may or may not want to use later. Big difference. Finish. Very nice. Also bothers white. White's got to take care of business. Okay, you got it. And black says, we're going to keep fighting. Let's look at the alternative. Oh, we'll live in the upper left later. Right now, we're just going to build this bottom area. Really? How many moves does black need before that's territory? A lot. And we just gave white greatness in the upper left. So that's no good. So this is the only move that makes sense. On top of which, that A group is eyeless. And now we can catch B in a ladder. It's a great fighting move. Okay, there's a cut here. Fix the cut. Fix the shape. Now, let's just look here. Let's say white comes again. Well, you know the proverb, honey, the head of 2 stones, and you see the entire black group getting surrounded and there's cuts and everything's bad. So you come out. How about now? It's a 3 in a row shape. Not enough. White's going to be able to hane, double hane, threaten this ladder, threaten the net. So black would need to make it 4. Now black shape is finally strong enough to counter. White says, no, I'm going to come over here. Okay. What? And that's, to me, is interesting, right? White sees that white stick that on top. What's white's thought? Oh, I'm strong and I'm going to attack. Is that white's thought? I would find that suspicious. If white had actually played here, I'd go, really? That's a little hard to believe. That stick with all the peeps, I would be concerned. And she's saying, yeah, I'm concerned too. Oh, I just saw the comment that came up. Old Son, Sixton, is talking about her. She's a pretty girl. And he says, oh, she's a beautiful girl. You go, Old Son. Okay, so defense, which also attacks black. Black gets out. White, we defend, comes out, and then turn, right? Want to get towards those white stones as we escape. Now, this is a bit risky because it's cut. But just for fun, let's look. Yeah, we got cut. And yes, there is potential here for white. But let's see, white is weak here. So black has counterplay. White's not prepared for any sort of vicious fight. So white's getting prepared. Black fixes. You'll see this over and over and over in strong player games. There's a weakness. Prepare, defend. And just, these are one move readouts, right? Look at that black group. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, but I'll live. That's an excuse. If you barely live, you're being pushed around, co-threats, end up with 3 points. So continue that base as you attack. Let's say, for instance, that this getting out move, this extension or an extension, was vital. Okay. Black must extend. Okay, that's the assumption. Now let's change this and make white, reach over here. White is now no cut, right? No cut. And white's out. Okay. Black's not going to play here anymore. It's thin. There's no counterattack. There's no attack on white. Black's going to say, let me bring that in, where it's nice and strong and territorial and lifelike. But since white's not healthy, keep the aggression going. White doesn't have time to counterattack. White can't say, oh, I'll just cut and fight you and I'll live inside. Really? You're going to live inside? I played a couple wrong stones. The idea being that as we surround white, the other group's just dying. I rambled there. Hopefully it made some sense. White comes down. You can see that center group starting to be concerned. So take care of business and notice the aggression. It's a very thin move. 2 space gap right next to white. But there's sort of an invisible black stone here because that's Sente, which makes black much thicker. Also, black, I'm not seeing black as in trouble. I'm seeing white as in trouble. So for black to be aggressive is appropriate. And this move surprised me a little bit. I would have been more comfortable with this kind of move, right? And just secure my area, very possibly in Sente. But white's getting a lot too. Black says, no, I don't want you to get a lot. So that's interesting to me. I think that's the kind of move to think about. Okay. We both do that. That's so cute. Just casually saying, oh, I'll just live. Hi, Adrian. That's my godson, Adrian. He's playing rope with Ava, the dog. Yeah.
Did you look up on YouTube about the skyline?
No, but I will. I'm in the middle of a recording, so I'll do it as soon as I'm done. There's a chore I forgot. Now the wife's a little, you should have remembered your chore. I did so many today. That's an excuse. You're right. Okay. Where are we? We're playing this out. Black's trying to live in the corner. White's trying to live in the corner. Very aggressive play. Black saying, I'll take the corner. And I will also have my A group survive. There's a lot of cuts here, right? That cut at B. The A group is officially cut off, and Tartrate is reading out, oh, I'll be fine. I can see it. It's all fine. Great. Good for you. Yep. Little weak here, so he's fixing it. Settling his group while he bothers white. Man, I'd play A in a flash. White saying, please take that corner. Black plays this way. With the 2 space gap at A, the connecting under idea around B, connecting to that C stone, living with C, this black stone has many options. And white is eyeless. So this is a very sharp move. Liberty race, huh? One eye, no eye. Okay. So let's just play this little fight out. Black, white, black, take co. Black makes a co-threat. Well, he has to do this a little bit differently. Well, let me show you why. Co-threat. White's response, Atari, and there's no answer. If black takes co, then it's over. So it's over. So he has to time the moves differently. Black, white. How? Well, this is the variation, and we'll probably see it later. But white does have two liberties. What was going on here? So black needs to say Atari. There we go. So it's co rather than just death. White says Atari. Black can take. White says Atari. Atari. So the co favors black. Not only that, but in the bottom left, it's big. Never mind. Black fixes his shape, which removes co-threats, and then starts in. Tari, capture, Tari, and he responds. White, he has plenty of co-threats up there. I haven't seen this game in a decade. Threatening to kill everything. And white says, take it. I'll just hurt you down here. Okay. So exchanges happen a lot in Go. I remember going back 20 years in a tournament against, in my head, I call him Zippy because his Chinese name is like Zhang Pei. And I can't say that, so I go Zippy. It's probably very disrespectful. Super strong. And in the opening, he made all the pros I've talked to says this is not a good move. This is too hard of a fight. But his whole game was fighting. So we played something that was inappropriate. So I knew that if I played my next 100 moves correctly, that I'd win. Well, that was just fine. And the game became more and more epic. One of my most epic games ever. I mean, it was whole board to Sujis, And finally, like on move 150, I finally missed a move and everything came crashing down. I love those memories. Okay. Little co-action. Co for the life of that group. So white's co-threat is to live on top. Black threatens to come into the area. White says, that's all I got. And then black goes for this cut. And I remember black wins. Let me see how near the end we are. Just end game here. Yeah. So this white group dies first. And white resigns. I assume you see it, but white's A group dies. Now, black's B group only has one eye. And black's C group has maybe one eye. So it's a liberty race for sure. But white only has three, and that's it. Okay. So we got through his email. We talked about, I thought, interesting things, and we saw a fun Tartrate game. Okay, good. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch y'all later. Bye.